Hello, here's my review for the Masters of the Universe Origins Necro-Conda action figure. Getting into the packaging, Snake Man glows in the dark, modern posing, retro play. That's one of my favorite little details. Masters of the Universe Necro-Conda reanimated Snake Man soldier new for 24. It has a few. It's got this really nice shot at the back of He-Man fighting a whole bunch of them. They really want this to be an army building character, but I kind of like to think of it as its own character. And there it is. And with the inside, there is a card. Not a mini comic like most, but it's got a cool picture. And on the inside, Necro-Conda reanimated Snake Man soldier. The Snake Men leave nothing to waste. Every Snake Man soldier sheds its skin prior to serving in King Hiss's army. The slithering sorcerers then reanimate these skins to create undead Necro-Conda, the wriggling wraiths that haunt heroes with their life-draining fangs. That's pretty cool. Still though, as I said earlier, I like to think of it as its own character because it's just way too cool to be a common foot soldier, right? Yeah, the packaging is pretty nice, but it's obviously the figure is what you want. So let's check that out. Into the detail, this figure looks really, really cool. I really like the design. It's got this nice glow-in-the-dark plastic on the armor and on the shin guards. And he even has scales molded in the hood of the snake. Got these green eyes, a little bit of silver there. The head has green eyes and a green mouth. And it has a snake wrapped around it, almost looking like a scarf. That's really cool. Got a hood accessory. And the armor, also removable, just like the hood. A special molded bracer. And a removable bracer right here with the little slot that we'll come into later. And right here, I thought this was really neat, which is there's actually the logo for the Snake Hunters from Motu 200X from 2002. One of the, in my eyes, best reboots for He-Man. So that was really neat. And it's just a huge product shot. And the glow-in-the-dark plastic, obviously, its main selling point. Let's check that out. Okay, so I'm in my closet, and we're going to see how well he glows. So just let me close the door and turn off the light. Might need to leave him in a lighter area for a little bit. So let's check how well he glows. Glows well. I might not have left him in the sunlight a little bit. I don't think that the camera is picking it up, but it does glow in the dark. It's just that this camera doesn't work too well at night. It's a phone camera. But yeah, you can see that a little bit. It looks nice. I think that's really cool. Yeah, okay, yeah, now that I'm spending a little more time in here, it's glowing a lot better. It's just more of a in-person. But trust me, the glowing effect really, really works well. It's just really hard to see with the camera. Now let's take a look at the accessories. First of all, we have this giant big sword. It looks really nice. Probably out of all of his swords, the coolest. Then we have this smaller sword, which I thought was kind of boring, but if you actually look closely, it's got some cobra motifs, which is nice. Kind of reminds me of the power sword. I like it. Then we have this tiny little dagger that has curved blade. Almost looks like a snake. That's cool. And then a really cool accessory is, as I talked about the gauntlet earlier, you have this clamping blade. If you want to, you can plug that into the gauntlet. He's got a little blade to grab onto enemies. But that's kind of odd to me because He-Man used a weapon like that in Motu 200X. Obviously, this figure has a lot of callbacks to the show. That's really nice. And you can't forget about his biggest accessory, which is the snake tail. Fully articulated. And if you wanted to, you could detach the legs. Sorry, just let me... Got that. And you can put him, his lower half, on a snake tail. So let me... It makes a little click. It's fully articulated. I mean, it's a little posed because, you know, this part at the back. But that's to help it stand up. So let's put that hood on. stand up. You can, the poses are a little limited what you can come up with, but at least for me, but it's a snake guy. Like, what else could you ask for? Super cool. I really like this accessory, probably his coolest. That's really neat. Let me stand him up there. Those legs up. So obviously he's got some great accessories. Now let's get into the articulation. The head is on a double ball joint with lots of posability there. And the arms have single jointed elbows with a rotation there. And the wrists rotate and they bend too. And then you can bring that up. 360 waist rotation. And the snake tail is articulated at that point. There and there. And for the legs, they've got the standard Motu legs, also 360 waist rotation with the up and down pivot of the toes. And you can bring those in and out, bend them. So, really good articulation. And right there. So, pretty standard, but I like it. So that's nice. Let me stand that up right there. And now time for the big question. Would I recommend this figure? Absolutely. Super fun to play around with. The glowing in the dark works incredible. And it's a fun figure. I really like it. And I like how it's actually a unique character rather than just one of the original action figures or even a character from the comics. Since they don't want the line to die out because it's such a big moneymaker, they've been creating new characters for Masters of the Universe, which I really, really like. It's a super cool idea. And honestly, this is one of my favorite figures in my Masters of the Universe collection. So if you think this figure looks interesting, you should totally pick it up. Thank you for watching the entire video.